Aaron, where are you? Where is Aaron right now? You done messed up, Aaron!
Aaron is back again with an update in the Danny Masterson case. There was an emergency hearing requested today by the defense to beg for a continuance in this case. They didn't just want weeks. They wanted months. They wanted to push this thing back to August. Now, I did a live stream a few hours ago explaining how just yesterday, Judge Olmedo in this case postponed the jury selection by only 6 days. And that by doing so, she made it all but impossible for Scientology to infiltrate the jury, like some believe they did in the first jury, where you had a juror lying on the questionnaire, omitting to tell the court that his own son had been convicted of crimes of a similar nature to the crimes Danny Masterson was on trial for. And not only that, his son had been tried and convicted by the same unit of the LA District Attorney's Office that was prosecuting Danny Masterson. Does that sound like a little bit of a conflict? Does that sound like a massive conflict? Well, that's what happened in the first trial. And that's partially why that trial ended up in a hung jury and a mistrial was declared. They don't want that to happen again. And so the judge postponed the start date by 6 days. The hearing was to really get the judge to reconsider and say, Judge, we really need months and months and months. So here's some of the notes that I have from the hearing. This just literally ended like an hour ago or something like that. Okay, so Cohen showed up. Rob Cohen is Danny Masterson's attorney and threw an actual fit. So the only one who done messed up here is Rob Cohen by acting like a child in front of a judge who does not put up with any of that nonsense. I have to imagine, look, I'm no lawyer. I don't know much, guys. I grew up in a cult. I have to imagine pissing off the judge generally is not good strategy for a criminal defense attorney. So anyway, Rob was there. Danny Masterson was not present. It sounds like Leah Remini was present at this hearing with one of the Jane Does. It sounds like both district attorneys were present. Cohen did not ask for the judge to reconsider anything in her ruling from yesterday other than the issue of how long of a continuance she was going to grant. Again, she granted 6 days. Cohen wanted several months. So he specifically said, this was interesting. Cohen started complaining about the fact that the district attorney's office had already indicated that based on the fact that a new witness is being included in this retrial and that 2 new expert witnesses, in fact, 3 new expert witnesses are being included in this trial, the DA already seemed to indicate that they understood the defense would be requesting a continuance and seemed to indicate that they would not challenge the defense's request for a continuance. So Rob Cohen was all in a huff and a puff, and he's like, well, they said they weren't going to contest it, and now I asked for the continuance, and now they're contesting it, gosh darn it. I've been racking my brains for any reason that they would have changed their minds, and I just can't figure it out. And the judge basically had to scold him and was like, excuse me, you act like you're a one-man show. You act like you're carrying this entire defense on your own shoulders. You are a part of a firm. You have many other lawyers from your firm working on this case with you. And by the way, don't think I haven't noted the presence of Scientology's attorneys sitting behind you in court every day as they are here today. That's right. Scientology's own attorneys were present at this hearing, even though this case is supposed to have nothing to do with Scientology. Now, one of the other reasons Cohen was going on and on about why he needed so much time is the fact that the Judge Olmedo is going to allow a lot more testimony in this retrial on the subject specifically of Scientology. Now, not necessarily of the Scientology belief system. We're not going to be hearing about Xenu. We're not going to be, hearing about the state of clear, the state of OT. We're not going to be hearing about how L. Ron Hubbard thought he was Buddha, or, how you go get your little spirit memory wiped every time you die by our evil alien psychiatrist overlords that operate the Between Lives implant stations. We're not going to be hearing about any of that nonsense. We're going to be hearing testimony about Scientology's ethics and justice procedures and the ethics codes to the extent that they apply to certain pieces of evidence in the case. So, for example, some of the Jane Does, when they were writing up reports, as all Scientologists do, Scientologists write reports on each other all the time. Some of the Jane Does, one in particular, but perhaps more than one, wrote a report about the attack, about Danny having attacked her, and yet was under specific instructions on what words she was allowed to use and not allowed to use in the report. In order to understand why that report doesn't include the R word, you have to understand Scientology's ethics and justice codes. Well, Claire Headley is going to be testifying as an expert witness in Scientology in this case. So Cohen was like, Your Honor, we have to basically study up on Scientology. He's like, you never heard the word Scientology out of my mouth in the first trial. Now I've got to go become an expert in Scientology because I have to cross-examine an expert witness on Scientology, and this is going to be a huge, big problem for me. And let me see. Let me check my notes. Right. Yes, indeed. Okay, so it was when he was making the arguments about having to learn about Scientology and how much time this was going to take. It was actually when he was making those arguments that Judge Olmedo was like, don't think I haven't noticed that you're not the only attorney representing Danny Masterson. And that's when she also noticed, and you also seem to have some assistance from Scientology's attorneys in the matter. I think there's some people who can help you figure out what the Scientology words mean. She was not very happy with how Cohen was carrying on and acting out in the courtroom. Okay, so let's see. And then we covered that already. We covered that already. That's right. And then when Cohen was like, he was going on and on about how he just didn't understand why the DA was not letting him do this and not letting him do that and challenging him on this when he already sort of seemed like he wasn't going to. And the judge was like, stop right there. I don't need to hear what your thoughts are about the DA and their strategy. The DA is not the one who determines whether you get a continuance or not. It's me. It's up to me, not that guy. Stop talking to that guy. Stop looking at that guy. Look at me. Talk to me. I'm the one who makes the call, and I consider the interests of all parties involved, and that includes the interests of the courts. So really, I mean, she was really smacking Cohen down on all this stuff. And so, so when it came time for Judge Olmedo to actually read her ruling, Cohen was just acting out at the table. He was shaking his head. He was scratching his pad. He was talking to his paralegals when all he was really supposed to be doing was sitting there and listening. And then when the judge finished, Cohen's like, Judge, can I be heard? And she goes, nope. She said, you can submit anything in writing that you want, or you can seek review, seek review with an appellate court. But you had your chance. You already said what you said. My rulings are done, and I'm getting a little tired of all of it. So there you go. That was, he was asking for a 5 months delay until August. Pretty incredible. And like I said, if he had gotten his 5 month delay, it would have made it, it would have increased the possibility that Scientology would be able to actually infiltrate the jury. Again, I covered how exactly that would happen or could happen in a live stream a couple hours ago. So you can check that out if you'd like to hear more about that. Okay, let's see. That's really all I have to say on this. Let me just address any super chats and then we'll call it a night, okay? So Ryan says, hey, Aaron, you put out a quality product and my wife and I are loving following your channel as of January. Well, thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate that. You know, one of the ways I try to approach content on my channel in general is that it's not good enough just to talk about stuff. You have to talk about stuff in a way that people actually enjoy listening to it. Because if they don't have to listen to it, they have to have a reason. And usually that reason is, I just like it. So anyway, thank you, Ryan. I do my best, and I'm glad you enjoy it. Okay, Destiny Salazar. Always good to see you in here, Destiny. The woo-woo stuff doesn't matter. It's about the criminal abuses that they continue to get away with. That is what matters. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me see if there's anything else. Okay, guys, that's all we got. It's already 9:40 my time, getting a little late. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to all of you who watch until the very end. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe